Good blessed afternoon. I'm here in Charleston, Missouri, Mississippi County, in front of the Mississippi County Detention Center, better known as the Mississippi County Jail here in Charleston, Missouri. May of 2017, there was a 28-year-old black mentally ill guy from Tennessee that made a wrong turn and came into Charleston, Missouri, and told the police that he had some mental issues. The Charleston, Missouri Police Department, he had some mental issues. And instead of taking him to the hospital, they brought him here to the Mississippi County Jail, which is ran by the Mississippi County Sheriff Department. The guy name happened to be Troy Sanders. Troy Sanders was less than, I believe, 24 hours. Troy Sanders was dead because of some of the Charleston Police Department here in Charleston, Missouri, and some of the sheriff deputies and the then present sheriff who was stripped of his duties at the time. They went in his cell, tased him, maced him, and I would call gang banging them. And none of them was charged with murder then. The then Attorney General, Josh Hawley, which is a senator now, he came and had the then sheriff here, May of 2017, had him arrested. But anyway, all of them sheriff deputies, the sheriff, then sheriff, and whoever else took a part of gang, I called it gang banging this black guy who died. And he one of them had, I believe, his knee on the guy's neck. But last week, about almost 7 days ago, the police department, the city of Charleston, settled out with Troy Sanders' mother for $500,000 in a lawsuit. The lawsuit for the Mississippi County is still pending. And from what I read, the United States Justice Department is investigating to bring the case back up, maybe charging the former sheriff and the police officers and the sheriff staff here at the Mississippi County, which is two different entities, maybe charging them with Troy Sanders' death. But my thing is to tell y'all this here. Now, they settled out for $500,000, but nothing happened to none of the police or the sheriff staff. The then sheriff was the only one that some type of discipline happened to. Now, I want you to pay close attention to what some of these police officers and sheriff deputies is at. One of the police officers is still at the Charleston Police Department. And from what the word is, if the chief of police, Robert Hearn, stepped down, this individual that was a part of that lawsuit when this guy got killed in this jail may become the chief of police. But I'm going to go down here now to the police department. But I just want y'all to just pay close attention to what's going on. You see, the NAACP here in Charleston, Missouri, Mississippi County, or none of these, preachers and so-called activists, so-called civil rights organizations, they not going to talk about this here. You know why? Because they work hand in hand with these people. And I'm not saying everybody that's a sheriff or everybody that's a police officer here in Charleston, Missouri, Mississippi County is crooked. But I'll tell you this here. 2 police officers that left Charleston, Missouri Police Department a few years ago went down to East Prairie, Missouri. One of them became the chief and the other one became the captain. Now, the chief was beat out by his dispatcher, a female down there in East Prairie. Now the chief of police, that was a police officer here, and his captain, that was a police officer here in Charleston, Missouri, Mississippi County, they are coming back here. One of the officers that was involved when the individual got killed here in the jail, Tory Sanders, he left and went to the sheriff department in Scott County, but now he's back in the Charleston, Missouri Police Department. And what I'm trying to show y'all is, if you pay close attention, you got to pay close attention of who is law enforcement, because we seen on Wednesday, January the 6th, 2021, what happened in the Capitol, y'all. Air Forcemen, Army individuals, National Guards, state police, even the Senator Josh Hawley that came down here and arrested the sheriff from the county jail here in Mississippi County. Even he had his fists up as if he was saying, power to the people, power to those white supremacists that was climbing the wall. Now, remember I told you where you just left, their case is pending on the lawsuit. But here's the Charleston, Missouri Police Department. You see what I'm saying? So many things happen here, not with all police. This is City Hall also, y'all. You see what I'm saying? I don't know if that flag stands for all of us here. We on here is Main in North Main and Cleveland Street downtown. But my point for showing y'all this here it is. Now, if they wasn't guilty of killing this guy, what would the city settle for? The city settled because they know ain't nobody here in Charleston, Missouri now gonna complain about what happened, or gonna even bring up the fact that the Charleston, Missouri, the city of Charleston has settled for $500,000 in Troy Sanders' death. See, they gonna keep that hush hush. You see, it's a good old boy system here, and everybody ain't going with it. I give it to the detective who did his job here, who left and went to the highway patrol. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to leave when you know your commanding chief is not doing what he's supposed to do. The same one that may become chief, I got him on camera with his sergeant laughing with two individuals that came by my house harassing me. Instead of arresting them, they laughed with him. And I got them on camera. It's on my YouTube. Guess what my YouTube saying? What they saying? The one that might be becoming the police chief, who was in there when I said they killed Tory Sanders. He was in there. He was caught on camera laughing with these guys, telling these guys, yeah, I watch y'all videos all the time. Y'all have me rolling. You see what I'm saying? He said Raymond just mad because he not used to nobody standing up to him. What type of law enforcement to say that to individuals that's out here harassing a senior citizen? Now, this man also is a military man. But like I told you, military don't mean nothing unless you're dealing with a certain particular character, because military showed us on January the 6th, 2021 on Wednesday in Washington, D.C. at the Capitol. They was climbing the walls. They was fighting legitimate polices. You see what I'm saying? They was fighting for Donald Trump, for white power. But let me tell y'all this. God is working in this town, y'all. You see, just like that settlement came in, I want y'all to ask these people to name all of those white police and all of those white sheriff, staff, deputies, or jailers who was all to participated in that guy's death. You see, one thing about it, if it was some inmates jumping on a guard inside of that jail, they would have named all of them. If it was some inmates in the police department jumping on some of them law enforcement officials in the police department, they would have named all of them. You know why they ain't name them? Because it's all white doing something to a black man. And ain't none of these blacks down here gonna stand up for it. You can check and see from 2017 all the way up to this day today, April the 21st, 21, April the 22nd, 2021, that ain't none of these NAACP presidents, ain't none of these people even spoke up. But you can see my YouTube videos. All you got to do is Raymond Ivey, Justice for Tory Sanders, or anything dealing with the murder or the death of a 28-year-old black man from Tennessee in the Mississippi County Jail. You would see that I stood up. The family came down here and met me and my two young daughters, and we took them where the Mississippi County Jail is at. We took them to City Hall. We took them to the then president of the NAACP here to his church and let them meet him. And the first thing he asked them, how much money do you want? The lady got to crying. You see what I'm saying? Her son had been killed in the jail, and he want to know how much money. But that's how they operate down here in Charleston, Missouri, Mississippi County. And then it's a police officer that's on the police force that shot a black individual, I believe a 16-year-old in East Prairie, Missouri, some years back, who killed a 34-year-old mentally ill black guy here in Charleston, Missouri in November of 2000, I believe, in 11. And now, since the chief of police lost his race to his dispatcher down there in East Prairie, the new police chief female will be hiring the one who killed the black guy and shot killed the black guy here in Charleston, Missouri, and shot the black guy in East Prairie. He's been promoted to captain. He's going down there to be captain. Y'all just follow the cycle. You see what I'm saying? And to let you know something else, Charleston, Missouri only have one black police, which is a sergeant, been there for about 30 years. Everybody being promoted over him. Everybody got newer vehicles. He got a hand down, I believe it is an expedition that the chief or the captain used to have, and they got brand new Tahoes and expeditions, and some of the other police got new SUVs, and he still got this old vehicle. But that's Charleston, Missouri, Mississippi County. You see what I'm saying? And y'all wondering why the people from Family Dollar offered me and my daughter $125 a piece and said they won't apologize to us. Corporate won't apologize to us. You know why? Because they know ain't nobody else standing, but they don't know God's standing with me. You see what I'm saying? God is standing with me. Y'all wake up. Y'all keep being aware of what's going on in Charleston, Missouri. Some of you blacks that don't know, follow that settlement. You see what I'm saying? Follow that settlement, y'all, and look at some of the police that was in there. If they gang banged that brother that was mentally ill that wasn't from here, who's to say they won't do it to y'all? They getting away with murder, y'all. You know why? Because people like the NAACP and some of these black preachers, if the shoe fit, wear it. Some of these white preachers, Susanna Wesley Family Learning Center. I ain't gonna bring Lincoln University into it no more because some few people talk to me, and I'm gonna cut Lincoln University out of my criticism. But I'm just gonna let y'all know that NAACP ain't doing nothing down here in Charleston, Missouri. The people that's running the sheriff department, the city of Charleston, the police department. You see what I'm saying? They ain't doing nothing. They ain't doing nothing down here. All you got to do is read the newspapers. Now, they'll go up against me, but they don't know. God tell me there's no weapon formed against me that would prosper. And he tell me as I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, which is Charleston, Missouri, Mississippi County, going up against these white supremacists and sell out Negroes, as I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I won't fear no evil because God is with me. His rod and they staff, they comfort me. My Muslims and my Muslims and sisters and brothers, I greet you with Assalamu Alaikum, and by the month of Ramadan, I greet you with Ramadan Mubarak. Blessed Ramadan. Peace be still.